Making higher education possible, I have more about a featured professor next.
From the campus of the University of Utah. News produced by students for students.
Hi, and welcome to Newsbreak, news produced by students for students. I'm Chloe Wynn.
And I'm Matthew Williams. Our first story this afternoon is about a University of Utah professor and Salt Lake City pastor whose mission is to make college education available for students who need financial assistance. Angela Worley has more on the story.
To students at the University of Utah, he's known as France Davis, Professor of Communication and Ethnic Studies. To the community, he's known as Pastor Davis, pastor of Calvary Baptist Church. But to 28 students, he's known as a man who made higher education possible.
I feel like this scholarship will definitely open the opportunity for me to have the full college experience, so not just attending classes and having everything paid for, but also living on campus and experiencing extracurricular activities.
Myself and some of the officials at the University of Utah who thought it was time to have a scholarship so that we could make the university's experience more inclusive and more diverse. So it's basically the needs of students is the real problem.
Students interested in the scholarship can go online and submit an application.
The choice is based largely on need and the potential for success. It's not that a student needs to have necessarily the best of grades or the highest of scores on tests, but simply that they have some successes that they can point back to and say, I've been able to achieve this, and then relate that to a formal education.
Getting an education paid for is definitely a blessing to me. We are not financially stable enough to pay for my full education, so these funds were definitely helpful in that way.
I'd like to see it made possible that no student would be denied a formal education in the college level because of financial limitations.
Pastor Davis, once a student here at the University of Utah, now a teacher giving back to his students and his community. This is Angela Worley reporting for Newsbreak.
Thanks for your report, Angela. For interested students to find out more information about the scholarship, visit diversity.utah.edu/scholarships. On October 5th, the Union Building held a meet and greet for local candidates to meet their constituents. Charlie Colbreth has more on the story.
On October 21st, the ASUU held Impact Day in the Union Building on campus. ASUU's campus relations said Impact Day will be a chance for candidates to interact with their constituents on campus. Now, although Impact Day has already taken place and ASUU specified a purpose for this event, I went to a few of the candidates to get their opinion on the importance of the 18 to 24-year-old college vote.
So when you're young and you have the opportunity to get involved and to vote, it really can impact things that you don't even realize it will impact for decades.
A U.S. Census report placed Utah tied for second worst voter turnout in the nation for the 2010 midterms, with the 18 to 24-year-old turnout at 11.8% versus the national average of 22.5%.
The reason that young people don't vote, in my opinion, is that they haven't been educated in the workings of politics.
George Mason University highlights some reasons young people don't vote, such as not interested, didn't like the candidate, or just forgot.
It's not that young people are busier, or that they're working more, or that they don't care, or that they're bad. Not at all. It's that they haven't been taught how they can affect their government, and how they can become part of their government.
Remember, when it comes to voting, your voice matters. For Newsbreak, this is Charlie Colbreth.
Thanks, Charlie. Salt Lake City's general election for mayor and council for District 2, 4, and 6 begins on November 8th. Early voting starts on October 25th. To learn more about voting locations and candidates, visit slc-gov.com.
The Hinckley Institute was also in attendance. The Hinckley Institute of Politics' goal is to get students involved in politics. On Tuesday, October 25th, from 2 p.m. to 3 p.m., the Hinckley Institute of Politics and the Jewish Community Center presents Joe Lieberman here on campus in the Hinckley Caucus Room in OSH 255. Senator Lieberman, once up for the 2000 Democratic ticket for vice president in 2000, will be promoting his new book, The Gift of Rest, Rediscovering the Beauty of the Sabbath. Although his book is closely related to his Jewish heritage, he has been said to be related to all Americans. Michael Medved, Washington Times reporter, writes that all Americans of every outlook or religious perspective would benefit from a weekly embrace of the idea of a Sabbath. Senator Lieberman explains it as a gift of rest. The forum will end with additional time to ask Senator Lieberman questions. It is open to all students of every major. The next Hinckley Institute Forum will be held on October 26th. The forum will get a visit from Floyd Norris, chief financial correspondent of the New York Times, to discuss America's economy.
As you walk around the university's campus, you've probably noticed an increase in QR codes on posters and flyers. The Marriott Library and the Eccles Health Sciences Library started implementing QR codes at the beginning of the year. But what exactly are QR codes, and why are they popping up everywhere? Toyota's subdivision DenscoWave created QR codes in 1994 as a type of matrix barcode. Regular barcodes contain numbers and are typically used to identify a certain product. Quick response codes, however, can contain any text and symbols. A URL is often embedded into the code to direct you for more information when scanned with a smart device. It's like having the information at the palm of your hands. It sounds great, but only for those with smart devices that have QR decoder apps and are willing to take the time to scan them. A research done by the Nielsen Company shows 40% of the population uses a smart device. What does that mean for the other 60%?
Then the QR codes are not going to do them any good. It's, I think, but if we look at the statistics about smart devices and who's carrying them and how many and what percentage of the population, you see that that is like on a, extreme increase. So we are aiming at that audience. That's the only audience we're aiming at. We're not aiming at people who don't have those devices because it's never going to do them any good.
The QR code is just a really quick way to hand enter. It's the equivalent of hand entering a URL. It's not that the information is inaccessible. It may not be promoted quite as clearly as the QR code is.
It's sort of a critical mass thing. You have to have enough people with smart devices that have cameras that also are aware that this can bring information directly to their device, which they can then save and store and take with them. So, it's a work in progress and it's going to take time. Right, it's never, well, it may someday be 100% of the population, but right now it certainly is not.
The libraries are currently tracking how many times the QR codes are actually getting scanned. And while they say the codes are not being heavily used right now, a steady increase can be seen in codes that contain event schedules. It takes time for anything to be accepted by the mass public, but they're convinced scanning QR codes will eventually catch on as a common task.
From keeping connected to campus to staying safe on campus, Joseph Laney reports on getting around campus safely during the cold winter months.
Utah's Department of Public Safety reports that 23% of traffic fatalities are weather-related.
On a given day, we investigate 2 to 3 accidents per day. With the weather coming up now, we need to be even more cautious on the roads. With the wet weather, with the snow coming up. One of the things we suggest, drive slowly, proper tire inflation, the proper tire, whether it be studded tires if you need for winter driving. People don't realize when the ground is wet, if there's snow on the ground, you lose that much more traction. It takes that much more longer to slow down when you hit your brakes, especially with these heavier SUVs, the trucks. Just because they have four-wheel drive doesn't mean they stop any quicker. A lot of distractions, whether it's the train coming up the middle of the road. We always need to be aware and mindful of pedestrians. We do have a lot of these students that cross the street wherever, whenever. Half of them don't even pay attention because they're either distracted texting somebody with their iPhones, you know, with their earbuds in their ear. They don't even look. They just step out into traffic. So those are some of the things that we need to be mindful of. Look out for pedestrians, look out for cars. We have shuttle drivers on campus.
As the weather gets colder, driving isn't the only thing that'll be more difficult at the U. This is Joseph Laney reporting for Newsbreak.
Thanks, Joe, for the helpful reminders to stay safe on campus as the temperatures continue to fall. Coming up, we'll have Linda Schmidt, Program Director for the 2011 Paws and Claws benefit, here in studio to talk about pet adoptions right after the break.
Welcome back. I am here with Linda Schmidt, who is in charge of the annual Paws and Claws event that is going to take place November 17th. Hi, Linda.
Hi there.
Can you tell us a little bit about these animals that we have here?
Sure. These are two of the retired research dogs that we have from the University of Utah. They were recently adopted by Craig Wirth here at the U and are now in happy homes. They were in non-invasive studies up at the U here and were available for adoption.
Okay, and how old are they?
Gypsy right here is probably around 2.5, and Sydney's about 3.
So is that typically how long they stay with the organization?
Just depends on the study that they're doing.
Okay, and how long has this organization been around for?
Probably since the early 90s. We've been adopting dogs, cats, sheep, pigs that are up on non-invasive studies, and if we can find them a home and get them into the community, that's something that we really try to do. So.
Alrighty. So you have this holiday bazaar coming up. Can you tell us a little bit about that?
Sure. We're we're an unfunded program here at the U. So that means whenever we need support, outside veterinary services, working with outside rescues, getting supplies, toys, things like that. We have a fund here, a development fund, and people can contribute to it. So we started this bazaar kind of to be able to raise funds.
Okay, so people just go, what kind of events will you have going on?
So we have people that make jewelry, pottery. We have a bake sale and raffle going. We also have dogs and cats that'll be available for adoption, so it's a good time to find homes. Okay. So it's an all-day event, November 17th, and we're looking for support from not only the research community and medical community and university, but also the community at large.
Okay, wonderful. And where do the funds raised go to?
So they go to a development fund here at the U, which we're able to use for supplies. That tells us that we're able to place animals because we have these funds available to support all these volunteers that we have.
Perfect.
Yeah.
And for more information, we have Linda's information and the Holiday Bazaar on the screen for you. Thank you, and back to you.
Thanks, Chelsea, for that segment. There will be a bake sale and a raffle that will take place during the event. And fall has made its appearance, bringing with it fall break, but this may not have been a break in the literal sense for student volunteers from the Benyon Center. Tanner has more.
The third annual Benyon Center Alternative Fall Break took place at the Rio Mesa Center, located 30 miles outside of Moab. Situated within the majestic Red Rock Canyons, Rio Mesa provides a unique and inspiring experience for students that participate. 26 students of all backgrounds came to Rio Mesa from October 11th to October 14th. During this week, the students accomplished a variety of service projects such as building a solar shower, excavating irrigation ditches, paving an interpretive trail leading to geological highlights, and constructing a horseshoe pit for visitors to play horseshoes. Gina Russo, student leader and organizer for the Alternative Fall Break activity, gives her opinion of why this event is important for students.
I think for other students, in many cases, it's the first time they've ever been to southeastern Utah. It's the first time they've ever seen Red Rock. For many people, it's the first time they've ever camped.
The The students were also indulged with educational presentations from local community experts on a variety of subjects. These included a local honeybee inspector who showcased an array of different honeys for taste testing, and 2 archaeologists from the Bureau of Land Management who taught students about the local historical importance of the area. A few students gave their impressions of the alternative fall break and why it was a success.
Well, I can do something which is beneficial for nature.
Really fun to come back each year and to see the impact that we've made perpetuating and to continue to contribute.
It's a very different and unique experience for me.
It helps me feel better about myself, and I feel like we're kind of passing the karma on.
For the first time, Alternative Spring Break of 2012 will be held at the Rio Mesa Center. All students interested in this and other activities can find out more at the Benyon Center located in the Union Building. Reporting for Newsbreak, I'm Tanner Hall.
Thanks, Tanner. The Benyon Center also offers an alternative spring break for students to many in-state and out-of-state locations. To learn more about the different programs, visit benyocenter.org.
KU Student Radio celebrated National College Radio Day over fall break. The campus radio station held the Autumn Bash, an all-day music festival at Kilby Court. The concert started early, with the first band playing at noon, and was going strong when the event ended at 10:45 p.m. The radio station also collected $414 in ticket sales, even though admission was free for University of Utah students. The station's music director, Nicole Paul, gives us an insider description on why KU and the nation are celebrating college radio.
It was a celebration put on by college radio stations all over the U.S. to prove that we're still relevant to music and culture in the communities that we serve, and do something fun that shows off how talented we are and how much we have to offer. We had bands like the Maud Lang, Bear Claws, Mountain Hymns, Scoria Gates, which was one of our own DJs, Jesus or Genome, Prince Polo, another one of our DJs is in that band, Charles Elworth and the Dirty 30. After that was Small Town Sinners, Visigoth, General Harrison, YYBS, and we had our closer as Holy Water Buffalo, which was a great honor for us because they are becoming more and more of a well-known local band. We took this opportunity as a campus radio station to show how much we care about local music and to give the bands and our DJs an opportunity to network with one another and create a tighter-knit community among those of us that have a real passion for music, especially local music.
You can hear all the bands from the Autumn Bash on KU Radio. Listening to KU Radio is currently limited and is most accessible through online streams, which you can find at kutradio.org and most recently on the TuneIn radio application for all smartphones. You can learn more about KU programming, activities, and how you can be involved on their website as well.
With the approaching cool weather, warm clothing isn't the only thing making an increased appearance this fall season. Outdoor recreation are also picking up speed. Lexi Jones has more.
As the temperatures are dropping, outdoor enthusiasts are increasingly outside participating in a variety of high-endurance activities from hiking to biking to climbing.
I would say biking right now is definitely prime time season. Just because, I mean, it's hard to bike when it's 100 degrees out. When it's in the 60s, it's perfect weather for biking. We're getting into prime climbing season, really, as far as like temperatures go, because it's another one of those sports where it's better for it not to be hot, so you're not like getting too hot and overheating.
So one of my favorite places I like to go is the Wasatch Crest Trail. So it's located at the top of Big Cottonwood at Guardsman's Pass, and it's a really great, about a 4.5-hour bike ride, depending on how fast you want to pedal. It runs all the way down from the top of Guardsman's Pass down to Mill Creek, and it's a great place to see some really beautiful colors in the fall and kind of just enjoy all the sights and scenes of Park City and Big Cottonwood Canyon. So I'd definitely like to go and pedal around there quite often in the fall, and kind of just all over the Wasatch. There's tons of different trails for people or for riders of all abilities.
It's definitely a transition period and pretty soon, come late November, early December, when the ski resorts start opening, then it's going to be full-blown ski rentals every day.
As the weather transitions from fall to winter, students can look forward to an upcoming ski season and the opportunity to rent gear from the Outdoor Recreation Program. This is Lexi Jones reporting.
For more information on the Outdoor Recreation Program rentals, you can visit the website below.
The Utah athletic teams are in full swing now, with football, volleyball, and soccer currently in the middle of their seasons. For more on how the Utes are doing, let's go over to Matt Coma to have an update on the sports teams at the U.
Thanks, Matt. Well, like you said, the fall sports here at the U are underway with 9 different teams currently in action up on the hill. First off, we start with the football team. The Utes are coming off a 26-14 non-conference win against Pitt, which brought their season record to 3-3. Now the focus shifts back to Pac-12 play, where the Utes will look for their first Pac-12 win on the road against Cal. Now this game will be a little different for the Utes, as Saturday's game will be played at AT&T Park, which is home to Major League Baseball's San Francisco Giants. Cal's home games are there this year, as Memorial Stadium goes under a $321 million renovation to update the 88-year-old stadium. Now, this isn't the first time that the Utes have played at this park. You may remember back in 2005 when Utah beat Georgia Tech in the Emerald Bowl. During Monday's press conference, head coach Kyle Whittingham recalled the last time he was there and something that he hadn't seen before.
The biggest change, or the biggest thing that was odd, was being on the same sideline, which won't happen, I understand, this time around. I think they've got it settled so each team has their own sideline, but that was bizarre. I'd never encountered that as a coach. I had it one time as a player way back when, but that was a completely different feel when you had the same teams or both teams on the same sideline.
Field starting position. Pac-12 South leader Arizona State, so a win against Cal will not only give the Utes Pac-12 win number 1, but it will also give the Utes a very outside chance at the Pac-12 South title. The game is at 7 o'clock Mountain Time, and you can see it on Root Sports. Also going on this weekend, the volleyball team is in California trying to improve their 3-8 conference record against number 3 USC and number 6 UCLA. Women's soccer is also in action as they take on number 3 Stanford and number 18 California this weekend. With the fall sports starting to wrap up, the winter sports are starting to begin prepping for their seasons, one of which is the Utes men's basketball team. The Running Utes opened up practice last week as they get ready for their first season in the Pac-12. The team is full of new additions this year, with new head coach Larry Kraskowiak, as well as 13 new players to this year's squad. You'll get a chance to see those Utes in action on October 26th in the annual Red-White Inter-Squad Scrimmage at the Huntsman Center. First 2,000 fans to get to the Huntsman Center will get a free team autograph poster, so be sure to get there early, guys.
Thanks for that sports update, Matt.
Thanks.
We look forward to the future.
And that does it for this episode. Thank you for watching Newsbreak, the show produced by students, for students, and have an awesome night.